Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the 2014 Ford Flex in this bold ruby red exterior color. A three-row mid-size crossover in one of the more competitive segments in the industry. It's available in three trim levels, the SE, SEL, and Limited. It's also available in front wheel and all-wheel drive. Hello and welcome back to Everyman Driver. I'm your host, Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. Coming up on this episode, we'll talk about its engine and performance, its real-world legroom and headroom, cargo area, and some of the standard features available on this vehicle for 2014. But first, I want to thank my friends over at Wendell Ford in North Spokane, Washington for loaning us the vehicle this week. Give them a visit at wendell.com. Under the hood of every 2014 Ford Flex is a 3.5-liter V6 engine mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This kicks out 287 horsepower, 254 pound-feet of torque. Front-wheel drive is what you find in the base model, but you can get all-wheel drive in the SEL and Limited. Let's talk fuel economy numbers now. It gets 18 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway with the front-wheel drive. If you opt for the all-wheel drive, you'll drop down to 17 city, 23 highway. Now get this, optional on the Limited trim level is a turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 that kicks out a smoking 365 horses and 350 pound-feet of torque. If it was me, that's the engine choice I would go with. The Flex weighs around 4,900 pounds, has a towing capacity rating of 4,500 pounds when properly equipped. It has a 19-gallon fuel tank, and the recommended fuel type is regular or premium unleaded. Let's take a look at your real-world legroom and headroom here in the second row, and boy, a lot of space. Look how much room I have between my knees and the back of the driver's seat, and this was my position as a driver. I'm 5'11", and look how much room I have here with my head as well. There's a major indent here in the roof line to give myself plenty of space. There's even vents here and lights. Cubby holes in the doors, both passenger doors for a huge water bottle. There's space behind the driver and passenger seat for some magazines. You've got 3 blank handles here along the roof line, which is good just in case you experience some turbulence on your ride. One thing I will say about this second row, it doesn't slide. So you don't really have any room to work with, but as it stands right now, plenty of knee room. Now let's see how we can make our way back to the third row and see how usable that is. To make your way back here, just pull the lever here on the side of the seat and then pull it one more time to lift it up. You create this huge entryway to make access to the third row. Now I fold this down, pull it toward me, and back here, a little bit tight on the knee room, but let's be honest. This is really a third row for kids or smaller adults. I don't know how many situations I've ever been in where I've hauled around 7 people, including myself. So I was having a discussion with Melissa, the Everyman driver, recently, and rarely have Melissa or myself ever hauled around more than 3 other people in our vehicle. So if you think about it that way, this is a great vehicle for hauling people, and even more so if you want to haul 2 or 3 people, maybe 4 more people, and utilize this back area for cargo. That would be my recommendation. One of the great things I like about the Ford Flex is its cargo versatility. First of all, to open the lift gate of the Ford Flex, there's a button just left of the steering wheel. You can use the key fob here, double click this twice, it'll come up on its own. There's also a button right here you can press, it'll open as well. Now behind this third row of seats is about 20 cubic feet of volume. Behind the second row, we're looking at 43, and if you lay them all flat, about 83 cubic feet of volume. So what does 20 cubic feet of volume look like? We brought our very colorful and stylish 2-piece luggage set to show you what that looks like. And yes, this is useful space. I can close that no problem. Now this is where it gets fun and pretty easy to understand on how to collapse this third row of seats and create more space. They have directions just below the seats, so it's a no-brainer. First, you pull and hold the red strap and push the seat back forward, and then you pull strap number 2 here. At the same time, you pull the third strap to release the seat, and it folds down flat just like that. And you do that on both sides to create those 43 cubic feet of volume. When you're ready for more space, fold down the second row seats, and voila, 83 cubic feet of volume. This vehicle makes a lot of sense as a family hauler, especially with 3 rows of seats, but also for families that are growing and on the go. I think a family of 4, possibly a family of 5, will really find this vehicle useful with the second row of seats for the kids or the smaller adults, and then that third row, fold that down and use it for cargo or storage. One area where you'll want to take a closer look at when you're doing your test drive of the Ford Flex is rear visibility. As you look over my shoulder, you can see some of the seats obstructing my view. That's why it's so important that you test drive every vehicle before you make that final purchasing decision. Now, some of the standard exterior and interior features on the 2014 Ford Flex include, beginning on the outside, 19-inch painted aluminum wheels, LED tail lamps, fog lamps, power folding heated mirrors, rain sensing wipers, perfect for a day like this, and a power liftgate. Now on the inside you have leather trim front heated memory seat, 10-way power driver seat, 6-way power passenger seat, and as you saw before, a second row 60/40 fold down flat and a third row 50/50 bench seat. There's also a leather wrapped steering wheel with cruise and audio controls, adjustable pedals with memory, and a center console with armrest, storage, and 2 cup holders. Now that we've gone over some of the standard interior features here on the Ford Flex, on Everyman driver's point of view, at least here behind the wheel, this interior cabin is very stylish, very clean and simple and professional. I really do like how they have all the steering wheel mounted controls, the ability to sync up your phone, but the center stack impresses me the most because here on the infotainment system, you have 4 quadrants. You have your navigation system in the upper right, in the lower right you have your climate controls, and entertainment in the lower left. And just below that, you do have a dial to adjust your volume and channel selection, but everything else is based on touch. And finally, if you were thinking about venturing off-road in the Ford Flex, which I would not recommend, you do have 5.9 inches of ground clearance. Now, some of the vehicles that compete with the Ford Flex in 2014 include the GMC Acadia, you have the Chevy Traverse, the Honda Pilot and Odyssey, the Mazda CX-9, the Toyota Highlander, and the Ford Explorer, just to name a few. The MSRP range here in the Ford Flex for 2014 is between $31,000 and $40,000, and Ford does offer a basic warranty of 3 years, 36,000 miles. You know, on the outside it does put off a boxy station wagon vibe, but on the inside it offers a lot of functionality, passenger volume, and decent technology. It is worth a look and most certainly a test drive. Again, I want to thank my friends over at Wendell Ford in North Spokane, Washington for loaning us the vehicle this week. Give them a look at wendell.com. Until next time, I'm Dave Erickson with Everyman Driver. Thanks for watching. But beyond that, you'll need to